Before we begin, viewer discretion is advised. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. What you're about to hear wasn't supposed to exist. It wasn't leaked by a hacker. It wasn't uncovered in a raid. It was forwarded, accidentally, by an intern on Taylor Swift's Eras Tour team to the wrong federal contact. Now it's part of the case against Sean Diddy Combs. The courtroom was dead silent when the email chain appeared on the screen. Not because of what it said, but because of who it included. It began as a basic logistics memo, subject line, VIP review Nashville plus Tampa. But buried 12 emails deep was a single line in red. Send the scout names directly to LA Mark Combs. The judge leaned forward. The gallery froze. No one was supposed to see that word, especially not in this case, and not connected to her. But now it was there. Taylor Swift, her tour. A roster of scouted VIPs routed directly to Diddy's team. 3 prosecutors immediately requested a sealed review, but it was too late. The document had already been marked Exhibit 42A, and the courtroom screen still glowed. Flashback to 2023, the launch of the Eras Tour. At first, no one noticed anything off. It was the biggest cultural moment of the year. Sold-out stadiums, viral TikToks, celebrities in every city. But one tour assistant noticed something strange. At almost every major stop, there was a man near the backstage VIP check-in. Same hat. Same glasses. Never smiled. Never clapped. Always watching. He had no crew badge. Never showed up in credential scans. But in every backstage security photo, there he was, just out of frame. Then he vanished. Until Nashville. Every deleted tweet, every fake statement, every PR cover-up. It takes hours to piece it all together. A social media coordinator had mistakenly BCC'd the full routing list to an inactive management account, one still tied to a defunct Swift LLC archive. That archive was later subpoenaed during an unrelated investigation into Diddy's event. Sponsors. That's how the email resurfaced. That's how the phrase "scout names" became federal property. On the 3rd day of testimony, a witness took the stand, name redacted. Former VIP coordinator for the Southeast leg of the Eras Tour. She was calm until she was asked about the scout list. "I thought it was for fan experiences," she said. "I didn't know. I didn't know those names weren't making it to the meet and greets." "Where did those names go?" the prosecutor asked. "They went west," she answered. "That's what they told me. Send them west." "But I asked once, just once, and I got a warning." The judge asked her to recall the exact words. She nodded. "Stars don't look back, neither should you." Silence. Then the screen lit up again. 3 redacted names under the label Scouted Nashville. One girl had gone viral for attending 2 shows, then suddenly deleted all her socials. Another had applied to be a backup dancer but was told she was too visible. The third hadn't posted anything since July 2023, day 4. The prosecution introduced Exhibit 42 lights dimmed as a red scuffed Pelican case was wheeled in. Inside, a solid-state drive labeled Miami Night 6 Combs. It hadn't been recovered from an office or a computer. It was pulled from the locker of a former security consultant now cooperating with federal agents. The man, codenamed Sealed, had once run protection for Diddy during Celebrity Convergence weekends, luxury mansion gatherings across the U.S. One of those weekends, May 2023, Miami. Swift's tour had just passed through Florida. The drive held something even the FBI hadn't expected, a folder titled Scout Sync. Inside, video logs. Playback began. Court audio transcript, clip 3A. "Yo, this is confirmation that Swift VIP pulls are cleanly forwarded to the Shell East list. Contains initials. TS flagged. Don't touch her. She's hot right now." The room froze. Not because Taylor Swift was named as a participant. She wasn't, but because she was being talked about like an asset, a neutral piece of a system she never even knew existed. Hot right now, don't touch her, let her work. That phrasing triggered a doctrine-level review. If she was labeled hot, it implied something chilling, that someone had tried before and been warned off. Then came witness number 12, former private security. His face stayed hidden, but his voice, calm, practiced, would haunt the courtroom for the rest of the day. The man testifying had spent 3 years in the background, working private gigs from Atlanta to Ibiza. It wasn't until a compliance trip landed him in a house with no exits on the bottom floor that he began to question the network he'd been a part of. In court, he explained how celebrities were often marked not for who they were, but for their influence yield, especially if they ran tour-based infrastructures, massive mobile teams, dense city schedules, high fan turnover. "It's a machine," he said, and Taylor's tour was the biggest one. When asked directly, "Was she involved?" he shook his head. "No, but she made it easier for them, and I don't think she knew." Prosecutors displayed an architectural map of a house on Star Island, previously listed as a Combs family production retreat. Among the guest records recovered from a private security firm's logs was a name, half-scribbled, that resembled someone from Taylor Swift's inner circle. Taylor herself never went in, but her team did. The jury gasped. When pressed further, the witness said something that stunned even the judge. "I think they were hoping she'd be the new cover." A fan-shot video from a Tampa tour stop resurfaced, after being referenced in court. In it, a woman with a clipboard whispers to a man in a gray hoodie. Moments later, the girl filming is tapped on the shoulder and asked to delete the video. She didn't. That's how it made it to the record nearly a year later, proof that Diddy's scouts were on site. As the prosecution closed the session, they submitted one final image, a security still of a girl, around 19, walking past the Eras Tour Stadium loading zone. She waved at a tour truck, then disappeared around a side entrance. Her name matched one from the original Scout Sync folder. She hasn't posted online since August 2023. She wasn't a fan. She was credentialed as an intern, logged in Taylor Swift's backstage check-in system. That record has since vanished. If Part 1 was about an email, and Part 2 was about a drive, Part 3 centered around a color, red. Specifically, a red wristband. Prosecutors unveiled a photo collage during the morning session. 6 photos, 6 girls, 6 cities. All wore the same shade of red wristband. It wasn't fan merch. It wasn't Ticketmaster issued. It had never been publicly explained by the Eras Tour team. The defense tried to dismiss it, until the prosecution dropped Exhibit 42C, an internal text export from a third-party fan engagement partner. The sender's name was redacted, but the texts were damning. "Push Crimson 10 only to final shortlist. Do not sync to merch list. It routes directly to Pulse. Confirm VIPs receive Night 2 invite. Group text only. No individual comms. Diddy wants models. Age ceiling Chopman 25. The courtroom gasped. This wasn't vague anymore. It was personal. Documented. Prosecutors clarified. Pulse was the internal name of a private event system, linked to Combs used to coordinate models, dancers, and press staff. The system was, not us, affiliated with Taylor Swift or her management, but the girls who got that message thought they were special fans. They weren't. They were being tracked. One mother took the stand. Her daughter, 20, had entered a VIP fan. Lottery via an Instagram link reposted by a page called Swift Surprise Events. That page is now deleted. Its contact info traced back to a Combs-linked digital marketing shell company. Her daughter received a red wristband in the mail. No card, no branding, just an address. "We thought it was for a secret acoustic set," the mother said. "She went. She never made it to the concert." The courtroom went silent. A time-stamped security photo showed the daughter entering a private gate near the Eras Tour Stadium in Dallas. She was never seen leaving. Late in the day, investigators revealed another connection. One of the red wristband girls had worked as unpaid crew at a 2022 Diddy fashion event in Malibu. She was 19. Registered through a now-defunct modeling agency that shared a bank account with Pulse Guest Relations. This wasn't random. It wasn't just scouting. It was systemic. They were using Taylor Swift's tour stops as harvesting points, building a network. The FBI profiler was asked to interpret. Red is used in asset movement to flag early acceptance, she said. It's discreet. It reads as aesthetic, but it tells handlers who's been tapped. The red wristbands weren't symbolic. They were SWOR tracking devices. Passive RFID, low-power tags. That's how they knew where to go next. One last name flashed on the projector. A girl from Atlanta, known Swift superfan. She wore a red wristband, documented it on TikTok, then deleted her account 2 days later. A federal subpoena recovered. Her last DM. I reminded him of Cassie. By courtroom day 6, the unexpected had become routine. But no one anticipated the name that surfaced in cross-examination. Ariana Grande. She hadn't been on the tour. She wasn't part of logistics. She wasn't even in the same genre, at least not publicly. But when the prosecution cross-examined a digital systems analyst brought in to review the back end of a now-defunct promo firm tied to Combs Global, they revealed Exhibit 42FA, a file titled AG Guest Clause, carryover from Crimson. The analyst was asked, "What does this clause mean?" He flipped through the printout. "It's a retention marker," he said. "It transfers active tracking tags from one tour to another, without the primary artist's knowledge." The judge leaned in. "You're saying Ariana Grande's team inherited tracking data from Taylor Swift's tour?" "Yes, Your Honor, and I don't believe either of them knew." Courtroom footage cut to surveillance from a rooftop hotel lounge. Ariana was in town for a private fashion event. That same night, 2 girls from the red wristband shortlist were seen entering the hotel via the service elevator. They didn't attend the fashion event. They weren't on that list. They were on a different one. The same list kept by Diddy's. Private security labeled carryovers, Swift AGD. A quiet man took the stand next. He'd worked dozens of events, but this one stayed with him. He didn't name names, but when shown a photograph, he paused. He pointed to the same girls again and again. They didn't act like guests. They acted like they'd been summoned. Some were crying in the hallways. When asked if Ariana Grande was present during these moments, he shook his head. She was performing. She had no idea they were even there. In a groundbreaking move, prosecutors displayed a diagram titled Celebrity Pass-Through Model, Tier 1 Talent as Visibility Shields. The concept was clear, using massive tours and appearances by clean, high-profile artists to conceal lower-tier exploitative pipelines. Taylor Swift's Eras Tour wasn't the target. It was the delivery system. Diddy's network followed the mobbing. Fan trail, pulling select names and routing them into unrelated celebrity events, all without the stars ever knowing. Ariana's event had been the next stop. Court records showed a sponsorship agreement between a fragrance label and both Taylor and Ariana, dated late 2022. One clause, flagged by the systems analyst, stated that all active promo cycles permitted Tier 2 guest data to be redirected across affiliated live activations. That clause was traced back to a consulting group registered under Combs Tech. Neither Taylor nor Ariana had signed anything with them directly, but both had campaigns, run by firms that did. The prosecution ended the day with audio from a recovered voicemail. It had come from a burner phone used by a former event wrangler. The voice was calm, male, unhurried. "Grande is safe. Don't worry, she doesn't. No, just keep using the ones from Swift. They're already marked." The judge ordered the recording sealed immediately, but the courtroom had already heard the last line. "The blonde made it easy. The brunette will keep it quiet." A single image was projected on the courtroom screen. It wasn't graphic, it wasn't explicit, but it was unforgettable. A young woman, dressed in full Swiftie tour outfit. Friendship bracelets stacked up her arm and around her neck. But the necklace stood out, a silver cassette tape pendant. It wasn't merch, it wasn't from Etsy, it was real. A functioning cassette, carved thin and retrofitted into jewelry. It was found at a boutique hotel in Nashville, May 2023, left behind on a windowsill. No note, no name. Inside the cassette was a 16-second recording, muffled static, a female voice. He said I got lucky that I'm prettier in person. Pause, breathing. There's someone behind the mirror. I saw them move. Click. That was it. But it was enough. The cassette had been tagged as evidence in a missing persons case. Now it was reclassified, part of the federal case against Sean Combs. Because the girl wearing that cassette necklace was on the Crimson 10 list from the Nashville show, she had checked into the event hotel. She was never seen at the concert. She didn't remember much at first, but when shown a photo of the girl, she blinked, asked if she could leave a note, said her mom would come get it. There was no note. But later that night, housekeeping found something else. A red velvet envelope tucked under the bed. Inside, a Taylor Swift concert ticket, a blank wristband, a torn scrap of paper. I won something I didn't sign up for. Through subpoenas of regional promotional agencies, the FBI uncovered a shell campaign titled Era Surprise Selection. It was never publicly advertised. It only spread through DMs and email blasts. Girls were told they'd won VIP acoustic performance, passes, private choreography workshops, intimate soundcheck experiences. The Nashville girl received her invite on May 6, 2023. The agency that sent it no longer exists, but payout records show funding traced to a subsidiary under Combs' Experience Group. The FBI ran diagnostics on the cassette necklace. It didn't just contain a voice memo, it contained an embedded time code, one used by a now-defunct security system registered to Diddy's private estate. It was a backup key, meant to activate audio locks. The girl probably didn't know. She likely thought it was jewelry, but the necklace was part of a surveillance and access system. Someone gave it to her, or she found it. Or worse, she took it with her on purpose. Surveillance footage shows her entering the hotel alone. A man follows. His face is blurred, never identified. The third floor of the hotel lost 90 minutes of camera footage that night, 2 maids reported. A strange chemical smell the next morning by rooms 3 through 12. The last thing the girl remembered was a phrase she kept repeating softly, like a line from a dream. I thought I was going to meet her,